Welcome back to Scarlet, Blue, and You, the official podcast of Hannibal-LaGrange University. Today, we are unwrapping one of my favorite traditions, our annual Christmas episode. So with that being said, we're delighted to welcome back our regular Christmas guest, Dr. Eric Turner.
Thanks for having me.
Turner.
Thank you.
He is the chair of the Division of Humanities and Fine Arts. He's the chair of the Christian Studies Department. He's the associate professor of New Testament and Greek and director of church and denominational relations. Did I forget anything?
Probably.
Associate
professor of Christmas.
I love it.
According to Dr. Garner.
So Dr. Turner, he always brings a very thoughtful, scripture-rich perspective to the season, and so we are so excited to have you back.
Glad to be here.
And this year, we're adding something new under our episode tree. Joining us for his first Christmas episode is Michael Dixon, our Dean of Students and Campus Chaplain. So welcome, Mike.
It's good to be here. I only have 2 titles.
You can work on that. You're new.
Yeah.
He's been here a little while.
Give us some more time. And
you
have
like 7. I only have 2.
I've been here like 15 years, and I just have one official title. I have a few other hats.
Yeah, we all have, I guess, unofficial
hats. I don't advertise those hats.
Yeah.
I take them, but, they're not in my title.
Right.
So, Mike, you're going to bring a fresh voice to the podcast. Can't wait to hear your reflections. He brought his Bible.
I did bring my Bible.
And he said that he actually got the Bible award in Sunday school. So
I did. I always bring my Bible.
That's great. So, we're going to have so much fun. So, grab some cocoa, settle in, and let's dive in. What do you guys got for us?
Yeah, I thought today we'd talk about, it's a word that we don't use in the church a lot, but it's an important word. It's the word liturgy. And so that's a fancy word, I think, for saying like habits we have at Christmas, right? And so the early church and even churches today, have liturgies developed into their worship services, to their regular rhythms. I mean, if you're at a church and you recite the Lord's Prayer every Sunday, right? Our Father who art in heaven, right? That you're being liturgical, right? You're developing a consistent rhythm and a habit. So I thought we'd talk a little bit about what are some consistent rhythms and habits that we have around Christmas that are maybe infused with meaning that we either recognize or maybe we don't recognize.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. So one of my favorites, I'll begin, is Christmas movies.
Oh yeah.
So always we have to start after Thanksgiving, right?
Well,
I mean, I do.
That's
if
I think that's
debate,
a personal
right?
Unless you're a savage, right? Like you wait till after Thanksgiving to put up the tree.
Unless you're just full of the Christmas spirit.
Well, maybe, right?
I'm gonna play my little Snoopy over here.
Right. Well, fun fact: when I worked for Cracker Barrel years ago, we would always around July have to put out in our parking lot 2 big shipping containers where we put all of our Christmas stuff. Because they would ship us all of our Christmas stuff in July to put out, later in the year. And we were out there in, 110 degree heat unloading dancing Santa Clauses.
Nice.
Right.
Nice.
So I was thinking about Christmas movies and specifically thinking about from a worldview standpoint, how movies underlyingly try to teach us things. Right. So I wrote an article about this recently I think the title of the article was Rudolph the Grinch and the Imago Dei.
I think I saw you
Very good.
post that.
Yeah, it was a great article.
Yeah, thank you. So
I saw it.
So I just decided on a whim. I had been thinking about this, and this is a good outlet to kind of write about. But thinking about how those 2 characters represent the image of God, right?
How the Grinch.
God, they're trying to teach you something about
who's the other one?
How to see people. Rudolph.
Okay.
So we're talking claymation Rudolph.
The good Rudolph.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Claymation Rudolph,
and the traditional 60s Grinch.
No, Jim Carrey Grinch.
Okay.
Jim Carrey Grinch, which is the best.
I don't know. Have you seen the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch?
I have not.
I think he's my favorite.
I don't know that I even acknowledged that Grinch existing because Jim Carrey was so
good.
Okay, I agreed until I saw it, and Benedict won me over.
Okay, I may have to watch it. That's the animated one.
Oh, it's so good.
Right, that recently came out. So thinking about how we know as Christians that we believe people are made in the image of God, so we ought to see them as subjects of God's grace and not objects. And so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and the Grinch are both diametrically opposed where this is concerned. So here's what I mean. Think about the story of Rudolph and think about the song, if you will, right? And the story of Rudolph. he's ostracized. He has a birth defect, this weird glowing nose. Nobody wants to play with him. No one lets him play any reindeer games. But then there comes this crisis at the North Pole of this, foggy night, and Santa Claus comes to get Rudolph because he needs him to guide his sleigh, right? And the song is interesting. The song says, "Then how the reindeer loved him." Then. Not before. Then. And so that word "then" in the song is very important. Like, why do they love Rudolph? They don't love Rudolph for who he is, right? They love him because he saved Christmas, right? It's very utilitarian. It's very like, what have you done for me lately?
You're kind of destroying the song.
I'm destroying the whole kids, my nostalgia. But then in the Grinch, right? The Grinch is similar to Rudolph a little bit. He's ostracized, right? He's weird. People make fun of him. They don't include him. The Who's in Whoville, stay away from the mountain, all that sort of stuff, except for Cindy Lou Who, right? Who in a conversation with her dad is saying, well, I think he's kind of sweet. And then she says this to her dad, no one should be alone at Christmas. And that word "no one." So she sees, get this is the line. I think this is my best line from the article. So it's like she says, I think she sees the Grinch not as a what, but as a who.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum.
So you see, like she sees the Grinch intrinsically to have value, not in what the Grinch can or can do, right? And so I think Christmas movies, especially, even like the story of Ebenezer Scrooge, right? Teach us that transformation is possible. It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah.
They teach us these great lessons.
Die Hard.
Like Die Hard, of course. Yeah.
Not a Christmas movie, but
it's about loyalty to family. Die Hard.
There you go.
He's trying to save his wife.
He can make anything into a lesson.
Yeah. See,
his faculty. He has all those titles.
Don't ask me someday that the Karate Kid is maybe the best example of the gospel. Right. That's from a guy from Southern Seminary, but we'll save that for a different podcast.
Another podcast.
I don't know, what movies do you traditionally watch at Christmas?
So
habitually,
White Christmas is on the list.
It's my favorite.
I don't see much. I don't know. What do you see in the White Christmas? That's like it's people doing acts of service for a friend,
right?
It's the idea of it's the idea of sacrificial service for their general.
Yeah.
Why do these guys who've had stardom thrust upon them after the war? They go up there to do this show, but they're there to serve their general because he served them.
Right. Miracle on 34th Street. Miracle on 34th Street's a great one. We watched
the original one.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely. Not the 1990.
Yeah.
I like the 1990 version.
Oh, sorry. So those are two of our favorites. I mean, we'll watch 25 different ones. The Santa Claus is a great one.
So good.
Yes.
Again, where you see transformation happening with Scott Calvin
in relationships,
and also with Neil and the mom the whole time. So great movies. For me, when you said something about liturgy and thinking about that first, I think to define what that means, literally means public work or work of people.
Yeah.
And so as I'm thinking about spiritual formation, like that's my role, right? I'm thinking about spiritual formation for students all the time. How can we introduce things and programming to help students grow? A lot of that looks like habits. A lot of that looks like things that we do.
Yeah.
And there's a book called The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. It's not a Christian book by any means, but it delves into the brain science of habits. And he has this thing called the habit loop, which is a cue, a routine, and a reward.
Interesting.
Right? And so as we're talking about the liturgies of Christmas, the cue is Black Friday often, right? Like the day after Thanksgiving. Oh, the bells are ringing. The Advent candles are coming out at my house. The tree's going up. The air's a little colder here. 10 inches of snow. That was the cue for a lot of people.
That was really unexpected.
That was a good one.
And then the routines start, right? And the reward comes on the 25th. When you open the gifts and you have the days with family, those are the rewards. But I would also say the rewards are just enjoying the season, right? We've gotten the tree out of storage, the ornaments are up, it's cozy, the movies are on. That's the reward when we're with family at the end of the day. If you've got a fireplace, the fire is lit. It's a nice, cozy feeling, and that's the reward at the end of the day. So that forms us. Those practices are forming whatever we do. It's like with students, the reward is an A. The routine is to study. The cue is often, you have a test on Thursday. Right.
Sometimes they don't even realize that.
Yeah.
Like, I have a test on Thursday.
Right. And so I thought of Psalm 90. And Psalm 90 is one of my favorite Psalms, but I could read the whole thing. I'm not going to. But it does say, verse 12, teach us to number our days that we might get a heart of wisdom. Yeah. And I think that's a good cue when we talk about things like the Christmas season, the liturgical calendar that the church celebrates, where every year we have these things. Every year we celebrate Christmas. Every year we celebrate Easter. Every year we celebrate the Trinity. Different aspects that come and go, numbering our days, literally.
Yeah.
And that leads us to wisdom. And then finally it says in verse 17, let the favor of the Lord our God be upon us and establish the work of our hands, liturgical work of our hands. Yes, establish the work of our hands.
That's good.
That's a helpful thing when we're thinking about rhythms. And so, I love the rhythms of I call it the Advent season, but the Christmas season. So for my family, it looks like, again, getting out the Advent candles and setting them up. And my dad built us this beautiful, it's not a wreath, it's a piece of wood. And all the Advent candles stick in this wood. It looks really nice. It's kind of minimalist, and light those, one per week and read a reading. So we're kind of reading through the story of Scripture, beholding the Lamb from Genesis all the way to Revelation this year. And so that's one rhythm that kind of cues my body to say, my brain to say, hey, it's Christmas time. The Advent candles are on the table.
Yeah.
So at 7:00 every night, we stop what we're doing. We light a candle. We read the Scripture. We pray together. We read maybe a prayer, or we sing a song together. And again, the reward for us as Christians is I love Jesus a whole lot more by the end of that 10-minute devotional time with my family.
Right.
And as Ezra gets older, he's probably not understanding a whole lot about it right now. He sees fire, and that's 17.
It's exciting.
Cool, yeah. But as he gets older, he'll see the candles getting shorter.
Yeah.
That means Christmas is coming closer, and then we're celebrating that. And so that's something that, to use a pun, really warms my heart.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more that we do. I mean, everything you're doing is shaping. That's the whole point, right?
Yeah, it is.
From movies that are teaching us these deep truths.
Just beginning there, I like what you said about pause. Like when we engage in the work of our hands in this liturgical season, we're forced to slow down. We're forced to pause, and I think that becomes ever more critical in the busyness of the world that we live in, and the access with which people have to us. We've all had the experience of like I was on my way to work this morning, and my Apple CarPlay pops up, and on my little text message thing it says 26 text messages.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I had 0 before I left the house. What happened?
Yeah.
And it's this one text group I'm with, and they get going, and they can't help themselves.
Yep.
Right. And it's just and I'm like, I'll look at that later. But it's like the distractions, the busyness. So I like that word pause, right? Because as we engage and do things together as families or as a church, it forces us to reflect.
Yep.
And I think that's the point, right? Is to being reflective and remembering why it is we light a candle, why it is we, like Prince Avenue, the church I go to, every year we go, like I think it's this Sunday night, maybe it's this Sunday night or next Sunday night, we go Christmas caroling.
Yeah.
And we go to some of the shut-ins that are members of our church or former members of our church. And so those kind of things that we know is on the calendar, right?
Yeah.
We're doing these things.
Here's the cool thing about the pause when I'm thinking about it is this the last 2,000 years of church history is a little bit of a pause. If you think about it, and that's what Advent is meant to do. Mm-hmm. That's what really Christmas is. We celebrate Christ's first coming.
Yeah.
Right? But then he ascended back into heaven and told us to wait. He told us to pause. And I mean, of course, it's an active pause. Of course, we're telling others about Jesus. We're living our lives for him. But we're in this already not yet time where Christ has already come and he will come again. And that's what we're kind of magnifying that reality during Advent. As we reflect on the manger, it should lead us to reflect on the second coming and this pause that we're in.
I'm glad you said that. It's interesting. Like even like the songs we sing, you could either take O Come, Emmanuel as to be an initial Advent song that we sing at Christmas. It could be a second coming song.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it feels like come thou day spring come, right? Like we're longing for the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
And sing while we're celebrating his initial first Advent, his first coming.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's so true. And that kind of brings in where I was going to go. You went to movies. I go to music a lot.
That's where I was going to go next.
Yeah,
both are pretty in tandem for me.
Yeah, so like my favorite Christmas album maybe. So I have two. I'm going to say two.
Okay.
Michael Bublé.
Okay.
Right, like I mean.
Like his original Christmas album?
Yeah, that's like 12 years old now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so good. And I just enjoy it. And then I like speaking of our centerpiece here, Vince Guaraldi Trio, Peanuts Christmas.
Yeah, it's so good.
Just piano the whole time. So I've got that on vinyl, and I just spin it in my office, and it's nice. It brings cozy
sets a
vibes.
mood.
Yeah,
I
it
like
brings
that.
cozy vibes to the office.
Do you know what my wife's favorite Christmas album is? She'll kill me for telling you this.
It must be embarrassing.
Yeah,
It's the album that
Is it
no,
Bieber?
and there's a story here. No, it's the album that Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers did.
yeah.
Do you know which one I'm talking
that's
about?
great.
Do you know which one I'm talking? You should go listen to it sometime now. So
They did an entire Christmas album?
they did that
my
together, right? And it's as amazing as you think it is.
That's
I
so
mean, I
awesome.
like Dolly.
And I mean,
Yeah.
Kenny's pretty
Dolly
good.
Parton and Kenny Rogers. I mean, they one of the greatest love songs of all time.
Islands
in the
Islands in the
Stream.
Stream, right?
Yeah.
They did a Christmas album together. But the reason it's made its mark in her life is every year when she was a kid, her family lived in Florida,
Yeah,
and then her extended family lived in Missouri. So her dad would pack her and her three siblings and everybody in the car, and they would drive from Orlando to Missouri, and he
gosh.
would play that
Nonstop.
album on loop
No.
the whole time.
So it made a long drive even longer.
From Florida to Missouri.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
it's like, so it just seared in her brain
Yeah.
that that's what Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, it's not Christmas till we listen to Dolly Parton and Kenny
it's a
Rogers.
cue, right? And
It's a
then and then
cue.
the routine is to play it, and
To
then
play it.
The reward is the feelings of nostalgia.
So we can't skip that song. We skip I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah.
that one's rough.
That's a terrible song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or the
Or
two front
or
teeth.
Christmas shoes. I can't.
Oh, the Christmas shoes.
Not a fan.
I
Oh,
can't
my
do
gosh.
Christmas shoes.
Mary, Did You Know is the one that I'm not a big fan of.
Yeah.
Because you feel
Not
like Mary
either.
know.
She knew.
She knows.
She knew.
She knew.
Luke.
Like, Mary, you do know.
Luke chapter 1, right? The Magnificat, right? Where she
was aware.
Yeah.
she was aware.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
I
not.
mean,
of
maybe
all
not the
reality.
details.
Yeah,
Maybe not all
But,
the details
yeah,
of like
she knew.
crucifixion, resurrection, but she
Right.
knew. She knew.
yeah. I think one more for me when we talk about music. So Andrew Peterson, who I think was on the podcast, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yeah, and just a gift, I think, to the modern hip movement and all the things he does. But he has an album that's called "Behold the Lamb of God." So I've gone to see the concert, the tour twice. If you ever
At the
can.
Ryman.
No, at a
Okay.
church. Not as cool as
Church
the Ryman.
works too.
Yeah, it's an incredible album, and again, starts with Genesis, tells the whole story, gets all the way to the birth, and the song on there that really, I think, affects me and gets me into thinking about the reality of Christmas is the the song that starts that it was not a silent night. There was blood on the ground. It was a real birth.
Realistic.
Yeah, it was realistic, and
Right.
It's an incredible moving piece. Again, another for me kind of a liturgy of the year is to break out that record and put it on and
That's
play
a very
it.
worshipful.
Yeah. We have I think I've talked about this on former Christmas podcasts. We have ornaments that are called from Family Life Today. They're called adornaments, and each one is a different title for Christ.
Yeah.
And then you open the ornament has the picture of like Lion of the tribe of Judah. So it has like a lion, and then you open it up and it gives the title on one side and the scripture reference, and then it gives a little short story.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And so what we would do is, as a family growing up, decorating the tree from Thanksgiving until Christmas, is as our devotion time with our kids, we'd say, okay, Chase, it's your turn to go pick out one of the adornments, and then they would fight over which one.
Right, right.
You can't choose that one.
I want the lion.
That's mine, and everybody wanted the lion.
Yeah, of course. That's the coolest one.
But then
Because
the kids got
cats
to
are cool.
read it and then put it on the tree.
Yeah.
Right. And so that became a habit that we developed that around, liturgy is meant to teach something as well. Right. So we're teaching our kids that this is the value of who Jesus is. This is who he is. He's the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He's the Lamb of God.
Yeah.
He's the
that's
King of
powerful.
Kings. So, and we didn't this is one of those things we sort of fell into as parents. Like, we didn't buy that. We didn't like intentionally sort of look at it and go, oh, that'd be really cool. We'll do that. Someone gifted it to us.
Yeah.
One of our deacons in our church gifted to us for Christmas, and it just sort of organically kind of happened,
Yeah.
which that's often what I tell my students you sort of fall into as parents, right?
I think
You
that's
just figure things out as you go.
Yeah, I think a lot of spiritual formation is that way. Of course,
It
there's
is.
things we need to do on purpose, like reading our Bibles every day.
Yeah.
That's a habit we need to form. But then when we talk about seasons, setting up the tree, again, you don't set out to do that intentionally. I think you just want to get the tree up and get the ornaments on. And then when I think about, man, some of the most powerful family memories we have are setting up the tree together.
Yeah.
And Gabby and I always now love that time where we set the tree up and
Nice.
we look at our ornaments. We have the little years written on the
Yes.
bottom, and
Yeah.
we have 11 years worth of ornaments together now,
Right.
and we get to look at, okay, there's a Cheeto bag that was my ornament from 4 years ago, and we remember what were we doing in 2021, what were we doing in 2017, like
We always joke, it's not Christmas, and I'm a 49ers fan, so it's not Christmas until Steve Young is on the tree.
Oh,
like I
gosh.
have a
yeah.
Steve Young ornament, all right? So
Yeah.
put Steve Young on the tree and then Jerry Rice next to him,
nice, yeah,
right? But we always make like when we decorate the tree, my wife always traditional. We have eggnog, and then she makes like a molasses crinkle type cookie.
Oh yeah,
And so it's again like liturgy words, just we think about words, but we think about sights and sounds and smells. And like you talked about, like the candle burning down.
yeah,
Like my kids know it's Christmas. Like if she doesn't make the cookies and the smell doesn't permeate the house, there's revolt.
right,
Right. I remember there was one year where she was like, I think I'm going to make a different cookie this year. And they're all like, no, what do you, no.
Yeah.
Don't even think, no, you can't do that.
yeah,
We can have chocolate chip cookies anytime.
right. We do this
We
one
have
time.
this
Yeah,
at this time of year.
yeah,
I love it.
And so just that picture of the mom, their mom in the kitchen doing that was significant for my kids.
yeah.
And has been to this day, even as adults. It's wild. So I was thinking too about like just curious, like habits and liturgies and things that we do. Churches do things. There's no standard way that every church does Christmas, right?
Right.
I mean, some churches do Advent, some churches don't.
Right.
Right? Some churches are like, it's too Catholic. Let's not do that. Right? We can't do that. Some churches do a Christmas Eve service. Others don't. So I'm curious, like, what sort of liturgical things have you seen in the church around Christmas that have been meaningful to you guys?
Well, my parents' church, they do have a Christmas Eve service that we all attend as a big family. There's
Right.
like 25 of us.
Is it a midnight service or is
No,
it like
no, it's a nice 5 o'clock service,
Oh, okay,
right,
yeah.
right before dinner. And but the first thing the pastor would always say, and he's not there anymore, but it just left an impression because he'd always be like, "Okay, everyone breathe. All the busyness is on pause for the moment."
There's that
right,
word again.
Yeah,
Pause.
right now we're
Yep.
just gonna. And that's what brought to mind when you said pause, is he would just be like, right now we're just going to worship and we're just going to enjoy this hour, and you guys can be busy again later. But right now we're just relaxing and
Was that Mark
worshiping.
Albee?
It was Mark
Yeah,
Albee.
I
But he
thought
did
so.
it like every year for 15, 20 years. And it
great.
stuck with me. I'm like,
No.
I'm ready for him to tell me to pause.
So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can finally do it.
I can
right?
finally relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't buy anything right now.
Right.
Can't make anything.
Yeah, there's value in that. I think mine. So
What about you?
I'm as Baptist as they come, but I do love like a high church kind of liturgy, and I know that scares people. But
Tradition.
yeah,
It's okay.
I mean, for me, when I think of this season again, I always love when a church celebrates Advent, and so again, if that means corporate lighting of the candles and letting those burn as you worship, or hearing sermons from that are kind of traditional Advent passages that are pointing to Christ from the prophets, and then I love. So when we planted a church, I think the most impactful thing though, when we planted, we did a lessons and carols service on Christmas Eve, which is 7 hymns. And you do readings in between each of those hymns, kind of like we did for our Hanging of the Green service yesterday at chapel.
Yeah.
But a little longer and a little more intentional with the direction that you're going with each hymn and text partnered together.
Right.
And so you hear a reality read, and then you sing that reality in carol version. And then you move through this, and then maybe there's a short message at the end, and you're kind of commissioned to be sent out. That was always an impactful service for me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
It's like the behind the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it more meaningful.
Absolutely.
Sure. Knowing why and how it was written.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you said about Christmas sermons. When I was pastoring, it was always, Christmas is one of the hardest times to preach.
Because everyone has expectations.
Well, not,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's true. And that can be true of any time, but especially like you got to be on your A game, man. Christmas and Easter, this is the big times.
Yeah.
But there are only so many Christmas passages to preach.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right. And if you've been at a church for a considerable amount of time, you start to run out of like I'm gonna have to preach Luke 2 again.
Right.
And so the challenge for me was always trying to find, I don't want to say creative ways to preach, but looking at things from a different perspective. And so, Christmas was hard as a pastor.
Yep.
Because of the busyness of the season. But preaching was especially hard. So remember your pastors this time of year.
Absolutely.
Like they have a tough job where that's concerned. But instilling those traditions, and that's what I wanted to get at with this podcast, was just instilling those traditions in our family, in our churches. But then I think the underlying thing is we can have tradition and we can do these things, but not explain why we do them.
Right.
And I think sometimes that's what we're missing. I've had students tell me again and again, like, I went to such and such church and I just didn't understand why they did anything they did.
Yeah.
And
everyone just,
and I think sometimes we take for granted, or at least maybe I do, that growing up in church and always having a church background, I understand why we do Advent. But for somebody that's maybe a new believer or maybe not yet, maybe exploring, maybe they're seeking, and they come to a church and they see a family come up to light a candle and nobody explains anything about it. They're like,
Yeah.
well, that was
Well,
weird.
and honestly,
that was weird.
the candles are like pink and purple.
Yeah.
That was my big. I'm like,
so
why are we having
why
pink
is the
and
candle?
purple
Why is that
candles?
one candle pink and the other one's a purple?
And
Why is
they're
there a
not
white-
Christmas colors.
And why is there a white candle in the
Hello?
middle?
Yeah.
Can we not do red and green?
And so just though, I think the more we can do, especially since we do live in such a post-truth sort of society and post-truth age, is with tradition and the explanation of what's behind that, it gives people something objective to sink their teeth into.
Yeah. Well, it's tradition versus traditionalism.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
yeah, right.
Like we don't worship the rituals.
Right.
But we do acknowledge that the rituals are good, right? And the rhythms are good, or they can be good. And I'm not saying they're biblical and that your church should do all these things and your family should do all these things. I think you should, but
I think you should have something you do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And because again, we know our own brains. We know our brains work best when there is rhythm. It's like working out, right? Consistency makes you stronger.
Yeah.
You need to get into a rhythm of your run. I mean, you got to be in a rhythm to run.
You can't just decide to go out and run a marathon. You have to train for it.
Exactly. And so our brains are the same way.
Yeah.
Our hearts are the same way. We need to learn rhythms that teach us to desire the good. And that happens, I think, a lot of times. There's a lot more of those during these seasons of Advent and maybe Easter as well. But we need to develop these things in our homes, in our churches, in our own personal lives, where our brains are learning and our hearts are, not to rhyme, our hearts are yearning for Christ. And the Christmas season is full of those things, from, again, the Santa Claus all the way to Advent traditions.
Maybe a final question. I know we're about ready to probably wrap up, but how long do you leave your Christmas decorations up?
Depends on how much the cats have torn up my tree.
Sometimes
it doesn't even make it to New Year's.
Real tree or fake tree?
Faux tree.
Faux tree.
I love the idea of a real tree.
Right.
In practice, it's difficult with a child.
We're fake.
We're fake right now.
It's difficult when you have cats, when you like to climb the tree, or young kids, right? So we do a fake tree. We leave our tree up until Epiphany. Yeah,
we're at January 6th because the 12 days of Christmas actually start on Christmas Day.
Right.
So Christmas Day is the first day of Christmas. And then you leave it up. That Christmas season is 12 days.
Yep.
And that's January 6th.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw the PBS special.
Yeah, there you go.
I watched it.
They used to take the trees out and burn them on Epiphany.
Right.
You light a fire and that.
Well, that actually is what taught me to get a fake tree, because I left my tree up for too long one year, and I went out the backyard, and kids and I were all standing around, and I threw a match on it.
Boom.
It went up so fast. I was like, okay.
That's kind of dangerous.
Now I understand why houses burn down.
Yeah, don't do that
around Christmas. Can you imagine like years ago, like before
with the real candles?
Yeah, before there was lighting.
They used candles in their trees.
Yeah. Real candles in the tree. I'm like, what?
Yeah, science is good for a few things.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Yeah.
It's good. Well, it's been fun, Lauren. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. This was great. Thank you for joining us for the special Christmas edition of the Scarlet, Blue, and You. We're so grateful for both of you coming to visit. And as we wrap up, we hope this episode has encouraged you, inspired you, and reminded you of the true hope we celebrate this season. From all of us at Hannibal LaGrange University, we wish you a joyful Christmas and a blessed New Year. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next